Hey everybody, Bobo Foot Gaming back again. This time we're going to be looking at doing some theory crafting for using the new Boba Fett Scion of Jango conquest character in both Grand Arena and TW. This is the first team I'm looking at, but I'm hoping to do a little series to see what I think Boba's going to be capable of doing once he's released. So the first team I looked at, and the team we're going to look at today, is using Rendar, Qi'ra, Boba Fett, Lando Calrissian, and veteran Smuggler Han. The reason I wanted to look at a team like this is because I didn't want to break up existing teams. So I wanted to use characters which didn't really have a defined home. Originally I was looking at something involving Beskar Armor Mandalorian, but that team unto itself is quite powerful, it's quite good, and components of it, while they would work quite well in this team, like Memphis Nest, I just didn't want to break up that team, and I felt that people were going to have Lando and veteran Smuggler Han already, and they don't have a home, so it feels like a lower investment to get this team up and running. Granted, Rendar is a marquee character, and we don't know when he's going to be accelerated, so he's going to be in shipments or farmable. And Qi'ra is something that people don't generally have geared, but gearing one character and farming, shipmenting one character to make a very powerful team isn't the end of the world when you've already got two characters built towards the team. So this is the first one I wanted to look at. Now we're going to look at why Dash is important to this team. First off, he has this leadership ability, prepared for anything. Scoundrel allies enter the battle prepared, and prepared allies gain an additional bonus on their roll, doubled for light side scoundrels. Whenever a Scoundrel ally gains prepared, they gain crit damage up and offense up. So they start the match with crit damage up and offense up regardless. So attackers, that's going to be Lando and veteran Han, are going to gain 30% crit damage, with Boba gaining 15% crit damage. Rendar and Qi'ra are both going to gain 20% potency and 20 speed. Then we look at his unique. He's going to give everyone on the team 20% max health, 20% potency, and 20% offense. Also, whenever a prepared ally scores a critical hit, which is all of them, all prepared allies will gain 2% turn meter. And he has three abilities, a basic and two specials, but the only important ones I'm looking at right now are the Seeker Missile special and his basic, and we'll come into that later. His Relic 5 stats give him a 75.5% crit chance and a base speed of 190. I'd want to be looking for speed of 330, so he gets to about 350 with his leadership, and he really needs to be as close to, or ideally, 100% physical crit chance. So I'd be looking at a speed set and a crit chance set, or if you have good crit chance secondaries and you can hit 100% crit chance without needing a crit chance set, then a health set is perfectly fine. The next character to look at is Qi'ra. So when Qi'ra is attacking, she has an additional 40% potency if the target isn't debuffed, or an additional 30% crit damage if they are. Other Scoundrel allies gain half this bonus. In addition, at the end of her turn, if a single enemy suffered more than one critical hit, Qi'ra becomes prepared and gains 15% turn meter. Each other ally that used an ability this turn also gains health steal up. And she has a very nice special, which we'll look at shortly. Her base stats at Relic 5 are 72.79% crit chance, 162% speed, and 40% potency. As every enemy is going to be debuffed before Qi'ra takes a turn, we can ignore the 40% potency part of her unique. So the target stats we're looking at would be about 285 speed excluding the leadership, so she has about 305% speed. Again, 100% physical crit chance and 75% potency. So you want a speed set primarily, and then you're either going to want a crit chance set or a potency set, some combination with your secondaries and primaries to hit these targets here. And now on to the big man himself, Boba Fett. There's a lot going on in this kit. So first we're going to look at his unique Fett Legacy. So he's going to have 50% additional offense and start with Bounty Hunter's Resolve. Whenever he gains a stack of momentum, he's going to gain 5% turn meter. Fantastic. Whenever he scores a critical hit, he's going to gain a stack of momentum. And obviously if he uses three of the same abilities in consecutive turns, it becomes ability block for one turn. While he's in territory wars, he's immune to ability block and stun, and his 3 abilities all generate 1 additional stack of momentum. So that's the Omicron, and it's quite important if you look at this team late as we go through the turn meter from a TW perspective. Then we have his contract, which is instantly paid out because Dash Rendar is the leader. And the important part of this is all momentum gains are doubled. So that's fantastic for him. That's going to provide him a lot of turn meter. And the 2 abilities we're primarily looking at in this video will be his second special, the Bounty Breaker, and double action. That's his basic. At Relic 7, Boba Fett will have a physical crit chance of 77.62% and a base speed of 146. We're looking to have him at about 270 speed, and he should be faster than Veteran Han. We want him to have 100% crit chance, we want him to have 192% crit damage, and we want him to have 9k offense. These stats look difficult, but honestly the only one that could be tricky is the 100% crit chance. I would recommend going for an offense set with a crit chance set for Boba, and he should hit like a truck. Now on to Veteran Smuggler Han. Veteran Smuggler Han's unique gives him plus 25% crit chance. That's the important part, and he'll be using both his special and his basic as part of the calculations for this video. His Relic 5 stats are 72.33% crit chance, 47% potency, and 165 base speed. We're looking for Han to be somewhere around 260 speed, but definitely slower than Boba, and he only needs to get to 75% crit chance because his unique is then going to add 25% and take him to 100%. You should though be looking to get at least 80% potency on him, so that would likely be a potency primary cross and a potency set, and his other set could be crit damage or offense. But he should be very easy to mod to meet these targets. The last member of the team is Lando Calrissian. Lando also has a unique that gives him crit chance, but only 15% in this case. However, when he scores a crit, he will gain crit chance up, which is 25%, for 2 turns. He's basically only going to be spamming his special, so we're just focusing on what his special does. At Relic 5, he's going to have 71.67% crit chance and a base speed of 135. Really, 230 speed is enough. You can go higher than that if you need to, but ideally he's not going to be faster than Han. And you even though he has the crit chance up, once he scores a crit, you're going to want to hit 85% crit chance on him base, because you want him at 100% crit chance. So even when he takes a turn, on the first turn, he's going to have 100% crit chance, because it's very important to get your turn meter going. So you're going to want a crit chance set and then either a crit damage or an offense set. Let's look at how this team should line up over the first few turns of a fight. Dash Rendar's going to have 350 speed. So you want to look for a team where Dash is going to go first, or it's a team where if you're going to go second, they're not going to do anything very impactful. So Dash will start at 100% turn meter, Qi'ra will start at 87.1, Boba will start at 77.1, Han will start at 74.3, and Lando will start at 65.7. This is based on the speeds I laid out above, so that's a 350 Dash, a 305 Qi'ra, a 270 Boba, a 260 Han, and a 230 Lando. Dash will use his Seeker missiles. Now this is going to, because of his 100% crit chance, crit every enemy 3 times. So that's 15 crits. That's 30% turn meter to your team. That's also going to give Qi'ra, not that it particularly matters, because she's going to be at 100% turn meter anyway, 15% turn meter. It will then it will also remove stealth from all enemies and will apply daze, defense down, and crit damage down to all enemies. The attack can't be evaded and it can't be resisted. After this attack has gone off, Qi'ra will be at 117% turn meter, Boba at 107, Han at 104, and Lando at 95, with Dash at 30%. That's going to bring us into turn 2 of the battle, where it will be Qi'ra's turn. Qi'ra will use Scattering Blast, which will dispel all buffs on all enemies. Qi'ra will then lose Prepared. She will then deal damage to all enemies with her 100% crit chance. That'll be 5 crits and 10% turn meter gain for everyone. Because she also has high potency, we're hoping that she's going to stagger all enemies as well. So now the debuffs will be daze, defense down, crit damage down, and Qi'ra's added stagger. Boba will now be at 117.1% turn meter, Han will be at 114% turn meter, Lando will be at 105% turn meter, Dash will be at 40%, and Qi'ra will be at 0%. On to turn 3 of the fight, and it'll be Boba's turn. Boba will use Bounty Breaker. Bounty Breaker will deal physical damage to all enemies with his 100% crit chance. Again, that's 5 crits. That's 10% turn meter to everyone on the team, except for Qi'ra. As everyone on the enemy team should hopefully have stagger, this will remove all enemy turn meter. Boba will gain 10 momentum from the crits. He gains 1 momentum every time he crits, and because of his contract payout, the momentum gain is doubled. He'll gain 2 momentum from using Bounty Breaker. Because he gains 1 from using Bounty Breaker, doubled from his contract payout. And in TW, this actually generates 2 momentum, so becomes 4. So he'll have 12 momentum, 14 in TW, and thus he'll gain 70% turn meter, 80% turn meter in TW. He will also inflict 2 damage over times. That means that the turn meter at the end of turn 3 will be Han at 124%, Lando at 115%, Boba at 70% or 80 in Territory Wars, Dash Rendar at 50%, and Qi'ra at 0%. As we go into turn 4, it'll be Veteran Smuggler Han's turn. He will use his special to deal physical damage to all enemies. With his 100% crit chance, that'll be 5 crits, giving the team 10% turn meter, but not for Qi'ra. This will also stun the primary target, so you would pick the person who has the highest turn meter in case one of them didn't get staggered, for example. And if they all got staggered and thus don't have any turn meter, the one who's likely either the fastest or the most threatening. And he will then ability block all enemies. As you can see, we're building up quite a list of debuffs that we're applying to the enemy team here. After the turn 4 is finished, Lando will be at 125% turn meter, Boba will be at 80 or 90 in Territory Wars, Dash will be at 60, Han will be at 10, but Qi'ra will still be at 0. You may be wondering why Qi'ra, as she seems to have 0% turn meter all the time. That'll become clear shortly. Lando will be taking the 5th turn of the fight, and he'll be using his double down special. This will, again, deal 5 crits and give 10% turn meter to the whole team except for Qi'ra. Also, the next time he uses this ability, it'll deal 100% more damage, and it will have no cooldown as it resets from it scoring 2 crits. Boba will now be at 90% turn meter or 100% in TW, Dash will be at 70%, Han will be at 20, Lando will be at 10, and Qi'ra will be at 0. Once Lando has taken the 5th turn of the match, things do get a little complicated with turn order, so we're going to look at how the turn meter lines up as we go into turn 6, as it does vary quite a bit based on whether we're in or outside of TW. So when we're outside of TW, once Boba gets to 100% turn meter, the enemy team will have gained a little amount of turn meter as well, which I can't really track here as we don't have enemy turn meters, but it should be somewhere between 5 and 15% at most. Dash will be at 82.9%, Han will be at 29.7%, Lando will be at 18.6%, and Qi'ra will be at 11.4%. But in TW, because Boba will be at 100% turn meter from the end of Lando's turn, Dash will be at 70%, Veteran Smuggler Han will be at 20%, Lando will be at 10%, and Qi'ra will be at 0%. This will bring us into turn 6, which will be Boba's turn again, and he will use Bounty Breaker again. He will again score 5 crits and give everyone except for Qi'ra 10% turn meter. He will again gain another 12 momentum or 14 in TW, so he will now be at 24 momentum or 28 in TW, and he will again gain 70% turn meter or 80% in TW. As he had 12 stacks before using this attack, he will also inflict tenacity down and potency down on the team. This will leave the turn meter at the end of turn 6 with Dash at 92.9% turn meter or 80 in TW. Boba will be at 70 or 80 in TW. Han will be at 39.7 or 30%. Lando will be at 28.6 or 20%. And Qi'ra will be at 11.4 or 0%. The end of turn 6 creates our second turn meter divergence, where we have dramatically different turn meters from inside or outside TW, and that we don't automatically go to 100% on the next character. So outside of TW, Dash Rendar needs to get 7.1% turn meter for him to get to 100% turn meter. So in that time, Boba will go to 75.2%, Veteran Smuggler Han will go to 45.1%, Lando will go to 33.1%, and Qi'ra will go to 18%. Inside TW, Dash needs to gain 20% turn meter. While he's doing that, Boba will get to 95.4%, Han will get to 44.9%, Lando will get to 33.1%, and Qi'ra will get to 17.4%. So The turn meters are still very similar, but they are a little different, and it is relevant, that difference, because in TW the enemy will gain a bigger chunk of turn meter in this gap than they will outside of TW, as Dash only needs to accumulate 7% turn meter outside of TW, where he's accumulating 20% inside. Still, the highest enemy turn meter at this point will still only be 20 to 25%. So you're well ahead of them on turn meter. On turn 7 of the fight, we're going to do something a little unintuitive. You would think that Dash would use his first special to stun someone, but that's not what we're going to do. He's going to use his basic to deal physical damage 3 times, and for each critical hit, he has a 100% crit chance, he's going to call a random prepared ally to assist. Now, this isn't random. Qi'ra doesn't have prepared, so he will always call Lando, Han, and Boba. We don't know the order he will call them in, but he will always call those 3. So he will crit 3 times, and that will generate 6% turn meter for the team. Lando will crit once and generate 2%. Han will crit twice and generate 4%. Boba will crit twice and generate 4%. I haven't noted this here, but if the target doesn't have protection, Boba will actually hit 4 times, and thus he will generate 8% turn meter. Boba gains another 6 to 8 momentum, higher if the target has no protection, thus gains 30 to 40% turn meter, and after these attacks are finished, Qi'ra will become prepared from her unique and gain 15% turn meter. We also will stagger one of the enemies because Han will attack them, everyone is debuffed, Han will attack twice 100% of the time, and when he attacks the second time, he will apply stagger. So you can target you would have 2 choices. You can target the person with the highest TM, or you can target the person if someone doesn't have any protection left. So you can either control TM or feed more TM and momentum into Boba. But if you look at the turn meters on the right hand side here, Boba doesn't need any more turn meter, as he's going to end this turn at either 137% turn meter outside of TW or 151%. Han will end at 61% or 61% essentially. Lando will be at 49%. Qi'ra will be at 33 or 32.5%, and Dash will be at 16%. That will bring us to the last turn we're going to cover for this video, and that will be turn 8, which will be taken by Boba. Boba will again use Bounty Breaker. This will be the 3rd time in a row he's using Bounty Breaker, so that is going to lock him out of using it. But as he's at 16 stacks, it's going to be quite nice to use. He will crit 5 times again, giving 10% turn meter to the team. He'll gain more momentum, which is completely irrelevant at this point because he's hit the stack caps on all of his abilities. He will gain 70% turn meter or 80% in Territory Wars, and the staggered enemy from the Han assist during turn 8 will lose all of their turn meter. He will also apply Breach to all enemies with this attack. So that's very nice, as that's going to reduce their speed by 25%. So a little summary of how the fight would look post turn 8. All of our enemies will be dazed, have defense down, have crit damage down, have 2 damage over times, have ability block, have tenacity down, have potency down, and will be breached. 1 enemy will be stunned, 1 enemy will be at 0% turn meter. Most enemies should be between 5 and 10% turn meter, maybe slightly higher, maybe slightly lower. Our team will be with Boba at 70 to 80% turn meter, whether it's outside or inside territory wars. Han Solo will be at 71.1 or 70.8. Lando will be at 59.1. Qi'ra will be at 43.1 or 42.5. And Dash will be at 26%. So you see here that we've applied a lot of debuffs. We've applied a lot of control effects. We still have a lot of turn meter. So we're still going to cascade more turns. And with 3 attackers, especially one being Boba, and his offense numbers look fantastic, we should have done a lot of damage to the enemies. Maybe killed some, probably killed some. But even if we haven't, we're still going to be cascading more turns. We're still going to be pumping out more damage, especially Lando's next turn where he's getting that 100% damage increase on his AoE. Jango can do the quadruple tap on his basic or start using his special one. Han's going to be double tapping every enemy, which is also going to be applying stagger, so that's going to be controlling more turn meter. Same for Dash Rendar's basic, also going to be essentially dealing insane damage, as it's going to call 3 of the 4 allies to assist here. We're going to be dealing a lot of damage and taking a lot of turns. Well, I hope you liked this video. Working out the math and the turn meter took forever, but I really like the concept. I'm certainly not saying that this is going to be the optimal team, but it feels like it's a powerful team that uses components that you don't want to use elsewhere, and it's got a lot of good things going for it. It's got a lot of control effects. It's got a lot of turn meter gain. It's got a lot of turn meter removal. So it really ticks a lot of the boxes on what makes a team powerful, in my opinion. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share this round to anyone you know that might be interested in theory crafting or just in Boba Fett's Scion of Jango in particular. And feel free to join my Discord server. The link is in the description below. Please tune in again soon. Well, I'll try to build some other teams around Boba. Thanks very much and have a good day.